Todd, this meal has been exquisite, wouldn't you agree?
My taste buds have been sent on a motherfucking symphony.
I mean, the decor is a bit dingy, but at least the food is excellent. No, Todd, we've been wined and dined with the finest in fast food and limited edition Oreos. What's the name of this fucking place?
Grab my phone and take a look. Nerd Bourbon Eats.
Todd, it came to me in a dream. A glorious vision that I had last week. I will walk you through my spirit quest.
Your spirit quest. It's funny. It's like I already know this. I already know the whole story for the most part, so this is still gonna be good.
I will take you through my McDonald spirit journey. Here's what happened. I went to bed and I had a dream that I was watching, like, I don't know if in the context of the dream I was watching, like, Fuck That's Delicious or something like that. But whatever the case may be, I was watching a show that had Action Bronson on it. And, like, he went to McDonald's and he was, like, placing a McDonald's order, and he was like, all right, When you come to McDonald's, this is the objectively the best McDonald's order. You have to order this when you come to McDonald's. Blah blah blah. I'll give you a little pretext to this. I'm always frustrated when I go to McDonald's because, I like a Big Mac because the Big Mac is kind of for me like the quintessential McDonald's sandwich. You know what I mean? Like it's just classic. And I like to get a Big Mac when I go to McDonald's. Here's the deal: they're too small. And they got all that fucking lettuce on there. You know what I mean? Like, you get a Big Mac and it's just covered in fucking lettuce. It's like you're eating a Big Mac salad sometimes. And it's all this shredded lettuce. It's like getting everywhere, and there's like globs of the Thousand Island all over your hands and shit. And like, for some reason, my whole life that has annoyed me. Like, that's always been an annoyance. But for some reason, it has never like clicked in my brain to just tell them to hold the lettuce, to just not put the lettuce on there. You know what I mean? For some reason, I've never thought to do that. So in my dream, Action Bronson's like, you ask for a Big Mac, you hold the lettuce. You know what I mean? And like, and already I'm like, that's already a revelation. And to couple that, I always like to get a double quarter pounder, which we'll get into more in a minute, but here's the deal. To get a Big Mac and then a double quarter pounder, that's like a little too much food. Like, I'm just a little too full after I eat that and some fries. There's got to be a balance, and I'm always like, fuck, like, I want more, because the Big Mac doesn't completely fill me up. And if I get a double quarter pounder, I'm like too full. You know what I mean? I want a right balance. And I I don't know what it is. Like, I just enter like a fugue state when I go to McDonald's, I guess. But like, I've never considered the fact that they just have just a regular quarter pounder. There is just a normal quarter pounder that's not a double. You know what I mean? So, Action Bronson in my dream is like the perfect McDonald's order is a Big Mac, no lettuce, and a regular quarter pounder. Don't order the double because that shit's too much. And I woke up from that dream a new man. I rose, like I went to bed that night like the old Seth, and when I rose, I was the new Seth, reawoken with glorious purpose. And like I told Anastasia that day, I was like, we're getting McDonald's for dinner tonight. And she says, why? And I'm like, because I had a dream last night, and I am now burdened with glorious purpose. And we go to McDonald's, and I make that order, Big Mac, no lettuce, with a standard quarter pounder, And like, it was life changing. It was perfect. It was exactly what I want in a McDonald's order. And, like, it's just so funny that I've never thought to do either of those things, and it comes to me in a dream. Like, basically, my body was doing me a solid.
Your subconscious basically was, like, getting sick and tired of your bullshit.
Yeah, like, For fucking almost 30 years on this cursed existence, I've been living this life with McDonald's, just frustrated with my McDonald's order. Never truly happy when I eat McDonald's. You know what I mean? And my subconscious is like, no, 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 I got you. We've known this all along. We just need to unlock this forbidden knowledge.
It's forbidden knowledge.
You know what I mean? It was the craziest thing. I've never had anything like that happen to me. But I do want to take the opportunity, now that I've gotten that story out of the way, to ring in this new episode of Eats with got to give credit where credit's due, with a hashtag Todd was right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was giving you shit for a while there, because they started doing that fresh beef, right? With the quarter pounder and the double quarter pounder. And I was like, you're telling me, like, oh, dude, it tastes different. It's like way better now, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bullshit. It's just a placebo thing. You know what I mean? No, it's real.
Now, I'm going to say something. A double quarter pounder is my go-to burger. For, like, when you say, like, the Big Mac's your, like, quintessential, like, McDonald's burger, the double quarter pounder is that for me. Like, the double quarter pounder has been, like, my main order. Like, that's the only thing I get from McDonald's, like, every time I go. So the moment I got the fresh ground beef one, it looks different. It fucking looks better. It's hilarious.
Yeah, the patty itself looks different. It tastes better. It's just funny. I was like, when I first took a bite into it, I was like Han Solo in Force Awakens. I was like, it's true, all of it. It was just like, I instantly knew that you were right about that, because I just assumed that they were like full of shit. You know what I mean?
It's like legitimately good.
Because like I order my burgers plain for the most part, and so I get them essentially made to order anyway. So
I think that's like the main reason I get the double quarter pounder, is just because it is just simple. It's just meat, cheese, pickle, like onion. That's it.
Right. But I normally get my burgers just meat and cheese, because at least I know that they have to make that shit fresh for the most part.
Yeah.
Some places don't still, but but I think they're actually doing, like, there's something different, like, about the meat itself.
Yeah.
With the new fresh beef, like, just something about the preparation, or like the ingredients themselves are better now, but it is different for sure. Like, it is
straight up though. Like when you order the fresh ground beef one, they basically have like 80% of the time that I've gone and got it since they've brought it out. I've basically it's one of those moments where you got to pull over to the door, and they got to bring it to you.
Right. And I don't mind doing that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind taking that little extra time for good food. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some real shit.
But like, it's it's funny, because it's just such a it's such a weird change, I guess, for a fast food place to make. Like, it's a weird thing to admit, I guess. Like when you see, like, oh, all new, all these years we have not been using real fresh beef.
I mean, if you pay attention to like the Wendy's Twitter, you already knew that.
Yeah, well, it's just funny to me, like how they're like coming out and admitting it, I guess, and they're just like making a big deal out of it now, with John Goodman talking about, like, oh, fresh beef, blah blah blah.
Also, that is just a great ad. John Goodman ASMR shit.
Yeah, didn't do anything for me, but
it's entertaining.
It is entertaining. But yeah, I respect that they're I respect that they're coming out and saying that, I guess. Like, they're biting the bullet on that one. But speaking of Wendy's, I do want to I want to rant for a second about Wendy's and the way they changed the menu a little. They added something to the menu, and they changed something. So my Wendy's order, used to be, because I would get a Dave's Double, just that classic, double cheeseburger. I would get a plain Dave's Double, and I would just get a Son of Baconator, which is essentially just like a tiny, like, almost like a junior cheeseburger, but like with, like in the style of a Baconator. It still has, like, the mayo and the ketchup and the, and the bacon and shit like that. Well, recently they did a couple things. So they added cookies to their menu, and they're actually quite good. So now I get a sugar cookie. and I I got a sugar cookie with my order, and I made this joke whenever I told Anastasia to get it for me, where you have to say it like you're like an excited fat boy. You have to say like, "and a sugar cookie." And but I order a sugar cookie now, and I go to order my Son of Baconator. You know what I mean? And I get it home. That motherfucker's like a full burger now. I take it. I'm like, holy shit! What the hell is this? I take it out of the bag, and it's I thought they like just gave me 2 days doubles on accident. No, my Son of Baconator. Essentially, the Son of Baconator now is just what they're calling a single patty Baconator. It's like weird, man. So now I have to like completely rethink my order. You know what I mean? You get used to ordering something a certain way.
Well, you know what? Maybe you'll have another dream.
I hope so. If I get taken on a Wendy's spirit journey, I'm happy to do it. You know what I mean? I'm happy to do it. I wanted to talk to you about, and you kind of this firsthand, but speaking of like revelatory things, my life was recently forever changed, Todd.
Your life was a lie until you've had these.
Every moment that I had, but like every moment of my life that I lived before I discovered these was a fucking lie. It was an absolute sham, and none of it mattered. None of it mattered until I happened upon the Snyder's pretzel pieces, honey mustard and onion.
Dude, when you told me that this is the first time you've had them, that was like that blew my mind. I was like, what? Like,
and it's funny because I'm making it sound like it's all epic or whatever. In reality, I just like saw it at Walmart, decided to get it, and when I came home and like ate it, like I remember it was after I got off work one night and I had to go to Walmart for something, I don't know. And I just happened to grab some, and I bring it home, and I remember I was sitting on the bed, like I woke Anastasia up so she could go to work. And I sit on the bed, and I ate one, and I'm just like, holy shit. And she's like, what? And I was like, they were real good. And bro, she had to stop me. She had to stop me from just eating the whole bag.
No, that's some real shit. Like, I could kill a bag of that always. Like, it's one of those things that somebody legitimately has to take it away from me. The same as that would happen to you, basically.
Bro, like I'm sitting there just kind of slowly eating it, just like reading like articles on my phone. And like Anastasia had a couple, and she's like, oh wow, this is really good. And like 5-10 minutes goes by, and I'm like still eating them. And still just mindlessly reading my phone. And the bag's like halfway empty at this point. And she's like, you just gonna eat the whole bag there? And like I just kind of ignore her, and she like tried to take the bag away, and I'm like, like I sat her and shit like that.
Oh man, that's funny.
Turn into fucking Gollum. Yeah, we stock them at work, and like I've always seen them, and I've always been intrigued by them. And I know Snyder's makes good shit. You know what I mean?
They have a couple of those like pretzel pieces that I really enjoy.
Like whenever I go to buy like a bag of pretzels, I always go for Snyder's.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And they make these like sourdough nibblers that I really like. So I mean I've been a fan of Snyder's for a while, but I've never, like, I've always seen them and I've always been intrigued by them, but I've never like pulled the trigger and got some until, I'm just looking at the chip aisle at Walmart, and I'm like, I want to do something different, because I usually just, my chip palette is usually just like Ruffles or fucking Doritos Dynamitas, and like I'm like, I want something a little bit different, and I just happened to see that, and I tell you, dude, it's like it's like the periods of my life are like AS and BS, like before and after Snyder's. It's some good shit, dude. So now my chip of choice essentially is like, if I want something spicy, Doritos Dynamitas. For everything else, there's the Snyder's honey mustard and onion.
Dude, that's hilarious.
That shit is incredible.
Yeah. I haven't had them in a while. Now you're making me want to pick up a bag.
Dude, I'm telling you, like that shit is so good. there's just something about that combination of it. Like the onion gives it like a little bit of a bite. You know what I mean? Like,
let me tell you something. I do that occasionally with an onion.
just bite an onion.
Yes.
I've done it.
Put some honey mustard. Put some any mustard on there. It's good.
Oh, have you actually done that? I haven't done that.
I haven't done the honey mustard, but I've done the mustard.
Yeah, bro, like I was getting to a conversation one time years ago. I was talking to somebody about onions and like how much I enjoy onions. And they're I'm sitting there talking, and like, you know, a couple people have kind of like gotten in my family have kind of gotten involved in the conversation. I'm like, I love onions. Like onions are and I still believe this. Onion is the most versatile vegetable.
Oh, I definitely agree with that.
I mean, like, you know, you cook it for long enough, it becomes sweet. You know what I mean? Like the texture changes, the flavor profile changes, and it's so important in so much cooking. You know, like there are dishes that just literally you can't make without onion. You know, and like if you leave the onion out, the flavor profile is completely different. And so I was just talking about the importance of an onion, and I was like, I can just bite into an onion like an apple. You know what I mean? And they're like, really? Do it. I was like, all right. Grab an onion, just bit right into that bitch.
It's good.
I'm like, I'm good. I'm cool. You know what I mean?
It's good shit.
So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't sit there and just like eat an entire onion like that, but I could. I can. I'm not going to, but the fact of the matter is, onions are good, and they're very important. Let's end the show this week. We had, you know, rather than doing, you know, we typically do our classic reviews, you know, rather than doing that, I wanted to tackle a topic that we've actually talked about doing in the past. I want to actually do this now. Pull the trigger on it. Top 5 favorite Oreos of all time. And whenever we do a list, you know, if you have never listened to any of our other shows, what we typically do is we work backwards. So we'll start at number 5 and work our way up to number 1. So Todd, why don't you go ahead and start us off with your number 5 Oreo of all time?
All right. The number 5 Oreo, personally for me, is just the standard Oreo.
Let me ask you a question. Do you prefer the standard, you know, the standard Oreo, of course, classic cookie, you know what I mean? However, are you referring to just the normal one or the double stuff?
Now, I could technically put those together, but I am going to, I mean, if it's your top 5, it technically will be the double stuff, because I'll always enjoy the double stuff more.
Yeah, because the double stuff is technically a different cookie.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because the double stuff is technically it's like one of those Mandela effect things. Mm-hmm. Like for the longest time, I would have put money on the fact that it was double stuffed, like STUFT. It's not.
Is it double? What is it? What is it?
It's just STUF.
Get the fuck out of here.
And some people think it's STUFT, like I did. Some people think it's like 2 Fs. It's not. It's a marketing thing because it is not technically twice the amount of cream. So if they were to put both Fs, they would be advertising that there's double the stuff. And there's not technically. It is more, but it's not technically double. You know what I mean? So yeah. No. My number 5 is actually, and I already know what your opinion on this is going to be. I bet this was nowhere near your list. The pumpkin spice Oreo. I love just the raw reaction you had to that.
I did like visibly cringe.
The only complaint that I really have with the pumpkin spice Oreo, you know, I'm a pumpkin spice fiend. I love pumpkin spice.
I'm the exact opposite. I hate pumpkin spice. That definitely didn't even like cross my mind.
Yeah, I love it. The only issue that I have with it is like for some reason, I don't know what it is about the pumpkin spice Oreo. The cream is like this weird like congealed patty of like it just peels right off, and it almost looks like you're holding like a greasy thick pepperoni in your hand.
Oh no.
Like it's weird. Like I don't know why the pumpkin spice cream is like that, but it's delicious. I mean, it tastes like I mean, it literally tastes. I think it's technically called a pumpkin pie Oreo if you want to be technical about it. Because I think the cookie is actually a graham cracker cookie if I'm not mistaken. So it actually does have almost like that the feeling of like a graham cracker crust. And I tell you, it's the wizards at Oreo have really made that thing taste like a pumpkin pie. So that's my number 5. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is actually the brownie batter Oreo.
Oh, interesting.
Now, if I really enjoy this Oreo for the most part. Like when I first had it, I thought it was like, oh, it's just like a chocolate Oreo. When it's not. It's not.
No, not at all.
Like, no, it's some real good shit. Like that shit tastes like there's a brownie. It's fantastic.
It's funny because as I've gotten older, I've gotten really into like undercooked things, I guess. I'm not. When I say that, I don't mean like I'm going to eat some fucking raw chicken or something like that.
And die.
But what I mean is, I've been really into like molten lava cake and like brownie batter and cookie dough and stuff like that. All of it very, very bad for me, but I've gotten into
so good.
But so good. Like even though a molten lava cake is slightly different because it isn't technically just like an undercooked cake, but it's the same idea. Like and brownie batter is no different. Like brownie batter has that kind of like like there is something special about brownie. It's got like a little bit of like a grittiness to it that I like texture wise. And it just has, I don't know, somehow the chocolate flavor is like more pronounced when you're just talking about the batter. Like some of it's a little bit lost in the aeration of the cake whenever it's cooked. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's almost like you're just getting that. It's like you're getting that pure hit of the good stuff. It's going to be kind of funny because my number 4 is the double stuffed Oreo. And we've already kind of talked about that at length. I mean, what more can you say about the double stuffed Oreo? It's that classic cookie. I mean, you can't beat that. You know what I mean? You can't beat just that standard Oreo of just like, dunk that in some milk and you're good to go. I mean, we all grew up on that. You know what I mean?
That's some real shit.
And the double stuff is just that Oreo with more cream. What's your number 3?
The number 3 is the lemon Oreo. It was like that came out. I don't know. Could you still buy it?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while.
It's weird, man. I thought it was like just a standard flavor in the rotation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's not apparently because it has gotten more rare. I'll say that. I'm seeing the lemon thins more.
But the lemon Oreo, man, is like when I first had it, I was like, I wonder how this is gonna be. It is a surprisingly good like lemon cookie.
Yeah, and you and I both love lemon cookies.
Exactly. Like I'm always on a search for a good lemon cookie, and the lemon Oreo was like it was really good in a pinch. Like, and it was a good choice to use like the golden Oreo.
Oh, you couldn't have done it with the chocolate.
It would have been like weird.
Would have been gross.
Oreo.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been gross. I love a good lemon poppy seed cookie.
Ooh,
lemon poppy seed muffin or cookie or loaf or something like that. It's really good. Yeah, lemon Oreos are great. And like a surprisingly good lemon flavor to it. Mm-hmm. Like even when you just open up the package and you get that bouquet, you get the smell of all the lemon.
Good shit.
hits you like a freight train. That was very nearly on my list. Like that would have been like my number 6 basically. So hilariously, my number 3 is the brownie batter.
Mm-hmm. I know. So, I knew the brownie batter was going to be on your list somewhere because you love it more than me.
Yeah, that was one of those. It was another one of those situations where when that came out, because I always, if I go to Walmart and I see a Oreo flavor that I haven't tried, I try to grab it. You know what I mean? I make it my business. I'm a Oreo for a limited edition Oreo. I make it my business.
Has been made before, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I make it my business to try it. You know what I mean? So I grab the brownie batter, and it was another one of those moments where I eat it, and I'm just like, holy shit. And I think the next time I went, I just like bought every box they had. I think they had like 5 or 6 boxes. I just bought them all. What's your number 2?
Now, this could have easily been my number one,
I'm interested to hear this.
and I've recently had these. They come in as the Oreo thins.
Okay.
But it's the pistachio Oreos.
Okay. This is another one that was like very close to being on my list.
Now, here's the thing. I have a love affair with pistachio flavored shit.
Yeah.
And I love pistachio ice cream, all that shit. Like, all that was just like, it's addicting as hell to me. I was sitting on the porch, like recently. I was with my mother and a friend of hers, and they pulled out a case, like, like a fucking a case of them or whatever, and I sat there. I opened that shit up. I ate one, and they had to take that shit away from me. They had to take it because honestly, I about cleared it in one go.
I think I told you about that shit, right?
You did, but I forgot about them.
Okay.
I forgot. Like it was after when you was like, oh, I told you about those. I'm like, oh yeah, you did. But it was like it completely like zoned out for me, and when I finally had them, holy shit!
Yeah, they're awesome.
That was when I had that moment.
Yeah, that it's funny. Like that again could have been. Like I was telling you as we were making this list, I could have done a top 10 easy.
Dude, easily I could have done a top 10,
and it's like that would have been on there.
My number 2 easily could have been my number 1.
Yeah. I'm curious because I almost feel like I know what your number 1 is now, but I'm not going to reveal it. So it's funny because like I'm sitting there and I at Walmart and I saw that pistachio. It's so smart of them, I think, to go for the thin cookie with that.
Oh, without a doubt.
Like, because I think if you had done it, the chocolate. It's hilarious because the chocolate cookie doesn't really work that well with the pistachio cream. But, like, in a weird way, the pistachio, like, overpowers the chocolate so much you almost, like, forget that you're eating chocolate at all.
Exactly. That's why, like, using the thin, you get, the cream comes through.
Yeah, the cream comes forward a lot more because the pistachio flavor is so strong already. So, because it's a thin, there is such little of the chocolate cookie that it just kind of fades into the background. Wouldn't have worked if it was a regular cookie, I don't think.
No, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, the very, very smart. So, my number 2 is what I am predicting is your number 1, and that is the chocolate hazelnut Oreo. What an excellent cookie that is. Like, it was another one where, like, when these came out, I don't even want to
say something.
What?
You're wrong.
Really? So the chocolate hazelnut not even on your top 5?
Not even on my top 5.
Wow! Holy shit! That's shocking to me. Damn. Okay. Well, so all right. Because when you said the pistachio was your number 2, I was like, all right, chocolate hazelnut's got to be number 1 because I remember you loved them as much as I did.
Oh, I remember I do.
But I guess not.
But
I guess your courage has waned, sir. No, I'm just kidding. But that was another. Dude, I don't want to know how many boxes of those I cleared when those were on shelves. I really would not want to confront that number. But I can tell you that whenever a box of those entered my house, it didn't see the end of the day. It was bad. I was eating that shit left and right. And again, you have to commend the fine folks at Oreos for their choice of cookie. You know what I mean? Because had they gone with a chocolate cookie on that, would have been easy for them to just like, chocolate sandwich and fucking hazelnut cream.
It honestly would have been too much chocolate. The golden Oreo like balances it out.
Would have been too much hazelnut, I think, because if they had just if the entire cream patty was hazelnut, that would have been way too much. You know what I mean? They could have lazily done that, but they didn't. They did the golden Oreo cookie and the split chocolate and hazelnut cream, and very well engineered cookie. And it's funny because like I think we actually on the first episode of Eats, if I'm not mistaken, reviewed those.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
I think that's true. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's true. I think on the first episode of Eats, we reviewed the chocolate hazelnut Oreos, and it's funny because like. We talked back then about how smart it was,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's ultimately why it was so successful. I really wish that was like a standard flavor,
Yeah, I agree with
And
that.
another thing we said back then that is still true is like neither of us big Nutella fans or any
not
of that?
at all. Like I'm definitely in the group, the minority of like, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, but like I'll be damned if like if we both didn't go ham on those
Oh yeah,
those chocolate
some real
hazelnut
shit.
Oreos. Anyway, what's your number one? I'm curious about this now.
Before the plethora of like weird Oreo flavors, this is still a go-to for me. It's just the standard double stuffed chocolate Oreo.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's still a go-to to this day. Like, I love
Wow.
it.
I'm surprised by that.
I'm not. That's why I said like the pistachio easily could have been my number one because that shit's just a game changer for me. But we gotta remember before all these goddamn fucking
Before
marketing flavors.
Before these crazy kids came around.
The chocolate Oreo was like that. That was primo, and it still is primo.
Honestly, dude, I'm not that big of a fan of the chocolate Oreo.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan.
I love them. I can bathe in that chocolate cream.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a huge advocate of the chocolate cream. That's funny.
I love.
I mean, I don't hate it or anything like that. Like, I'm not gonna turn one away. I won't kick it out of bed, as they say.
Here's the thing. I'm the type of person. I have done this. I've taken like a full row of cookies, take the cream off, and put it all in my mouth.
Oh, just the cream?
Yes.
Oh, you animal. I've never done that. That's funny. I mean, I've eaten.
Join me. Do it. Do it.
I'll never be like you. My number one, and it actually breaks my heart because I thought that these for a long time, and you already know what it is. I've made it no secret. But for a long time, I thought that this was a standard flavor in the rotation, but up until recently, like within the past couple of months, I think that it is no longer with us. It is the golden birthday cake Oreo.
Oh, so they finally killed it. Good.
Yes, they so now you can still get the birthday cake Oreo, but it's with the chocolate cookie. And for me, like, the chocolate cookie's a little too much, like it's a little overpowering. That's why I really loved the golden Oreo with it. I really thought that was smart because it's all about the cream with that one.
Okay.
And really, I mean, it's really just a sweet kind of vanilla icing type cream. That's the thing. That one's like more icing than anything. It's not even cream at that point. And with sprinkles in it. That's about all it is.
Okay.
And God, it is goddamn delicious. Like, it's one of those where, like, whenever I haven't had it in a while, and like I put one of those golden birthday cake Oreos in my mouth like orgasms for a second, like,
holy shit.
Holy shit. But no, like I swear to God, like just like a fucking like an ejaculation of saliva. Like, I'll put in I like squirt when I eat one. It's bad, dude.
Oh no.
They're like too good. It's disgusting. It's me eating a golden birthday cake Oreo is a sight to behold. But no, it seems like it seems like they've killed the golden birthday cake Oreo, and it's kind of broken my heart a little bit, man. I was very close to putting the standard golden double stuff on here because
I feel that.
There's something about that golden Oreo cookie that very like ingenious. And I don't even remember. I think before they even went for a full golden, didn't they used to do like back in the day, like, because obviously it was just the chocolate cookie for a long time, and then
I think they back in the day they did like the half and like it was like a chocolate cookie with
right,
a golden
right,
cookie.
the Oreos, right? Isn't that what it was?
So I think you're correct on that. Actually.
Yeah, I think it was called Oreos, where they would do that, and or it was either the half and half when they did that, or was the Oreos like the debut of the full both sides golden cookie and chocolate cream. So it's like reversed.
Oh.
I would have to fact check that. I have a memory of that. But you know, this is a topic that we've always wanted to touch on with eats, you know, the top 5 Oreos of all time. You know, the list, you know, like every time we make a list, it could change anytime you'd asked us.
No, definitely.
But for today, for right here, for right now, that is our sacred declaration of the best Oreos of all time. Todd, is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up this episode of Eats?
I think that's about it, man.
All right, thanks for listening, guys. Come back for seconds. Bye.
See ya.